When you think of a new Call of Duty title, you would think Modern Warfare. There's been so much talk about the new game that you would absolutely be forgiven for thinking it was the only new COD game out this year, but you would be wrong. There is another game pushing its weight around, and that's COD Mobile. I know it's a mobile game, and that's not the sort of game that some of you might play, but trust me when I say that this is a huge market. COD Mobile only fully released a few days ago, and it's already had over 20 million downloads. That should put it into perspective just how popular this game could be. Other titles like Fortnite and PUBG have already established themselves a massive audience on mobile, and now COD has waded into the fray. And a big thanks to Activision for sponsoring this video, and if you want to check out the game for yourself, there's a link down in the description below. Now then, I was quite interested to see if this had been done before, and it seems that this is the very first COD game to hit mobile devices. In fact, it's not something that's all that simple. Taking a game that's always been a PC and console shooter and turning it into a successful game on mobile is not an easy task, and as it turns out, it's been achieved through thousands of hours of playtesting. The game has also been through various alphas and betas over the past year to refine it. So the game is being made by Tencent, and well, I don't need to reiterate how much knowledge Tencent have in this market, but rest assured the game is in good hands, because if there's one thing that Tencent knows how to do, it's make a popular mobile game. It would be pretty easy to take some of the COD maps, weapons and characters and just use them in a game that didn't actually resemble Call of Duty, but that's not what this is. This does actually feel like a COD game, and that's a big credit to the developers. First, let's talk visuals, and it's hard to believe a few years ago that I would be saying this, but I think it actually looks good. It's a mobile game, and yet on modern phones these days it looks great. Of course, they can have pretty nice graphics. It's not what you would get from a modern console, nowhere near, but I think the visuals do hold up really well, especially on smaller screens. There are so many phones on the market nowadays that are designed with games in mind, and even those that aren't, and they still offer specs that can run these games really well. COD Mobile requires a device with at least 2 GB of RAM, but it will run on both Android and iOS. One of the most interesting things with COD Mobile though is that it isn't based on any of the other COD titles, and instead it's its own game, a bit of an amalgamation. It takes lots of stuff from older COD games including Black Ops and Modern Warfare and mashes them together. There are so many classic maps and weapons that you can find yourself playing with, and these range from rifles from the Black Ops series all the way to the intervention sniper from Modern Warfare, or perhaps you might be playing Crash from COD 4 with a new gun such as the ASM-20. There's a lot of nostalgia to be had in the game, and it's interesting to be playing maps from different eras of COD with a mixture of weapons too. I like the idea of it, and in practice it works. While a mobile game hasn't been done before, it's worth noting that COD Online was also made by Tencent, and that was released exclusively in China as a free-to-play microtransaction game. It also did something similar by having character models and weapons from both the Modern Warfare and Black Ops series, so maybe a bit of a tester for this mobile version. Now then, let's talk controls, because face it, it's really important for a mobile game. Overall, the controls are quite straightforward, and you've got a simple and advanced option. Your movement is controlled by your left thumb on the screen, and that could be moving forward or sprinting, and the right hand side is your aim. And you've also got crouch, jump and aim down the sight. All the controls that you would expect to be here are there, so depending on what control scheme you go for, you can either have the game shoot for you when you land over a target, or you can use the advanced scheme, which is a bit more refined and arguably, if you master it, will give you better results. The automatic shooting though I think is fine, but it can be a bit temperamental at times, and if a teammate moves in front of you or you go slightly behind some cover, then it will stop shooting. There's a load of customization in the controls though. Like I said, you can change the position of the controls as well as how the aim down the sight system and shooting works, including aim assist, so you can customize this exactly how you want to. There are even graphics options. You can run it on low all the way up to very high, and you can choose what frame rate you want, again from low to very high. Depth of field, bloom, Ragdoll's anti-aliasing can also be turned on and off. There's a ton of depth to the options here. I was very impressed, and I assume this is because you might be playing this on a lower end phone, and if you want to preserve battery life or get better performance, you could turn things down. Of course, if you've got the latest all singing all dancing iPhone 28 or whatever it is now, you could whack that all up to maximum. Alright then, let's get down to the good stuff, game modes. All of the multiplayer modes in COD Mobile are done versus real players, but you can also practice against AI if you want to. You can play TD TDM, Frontline, which is basically TDM with dedicated spawn points, as well as Domination and Search and Destroy. There's also one more mode that you can play at the moment. Wait for it. Battle Royale. More on that in a second, but yes, there is a BR mode right now in COD Mobile. And of course, it wouldn't be Call of Duty without kill streaks, or score streaks as they're called on COD Mobile, but of course, they are in there. You've got the UAV, the Hunter Killer, airdrops, Predator missiles, Molotovs, counter UAV, even the VTOL. There's a couple more there too. It's Call of Duty, you know what to expect. And you can also fully customize your loadout too. First of all, you pick your main weapon, so something like an M4 or a 74U, perhaps even a sniper rifle or a striker. And then you can pick your sight, which you'll need to unlock as you progress through the game. And then the more you progress, you'll get attachments too, such as barrels, grips, and stocks. Your secondary could either be a knife, a pistol, or a launcher, and then you can customize your perks and tacticals. Pick from Fast Recover, Flak Jacket, Agile, Lightweight, and loads more. And you can also pick an operator skill, and these are things that level up over time, so things like the flamethrower here, the War Machine, which is a big grenade launcher, and then the Scythe, which is a large machine gun. You'll recognize these from various COD games. Unsurprisingly, you can also customize your appearance, and in COD Mobile, there are lots of ways to get cosmetics as you would expect from a free-to-play game. So one way is to level up the Battle Pass, and that gives you quite a few cosmetic items. As with most Battle Pass systems, you get a standard one that will give you some cool items to begin with, but if you want the best stuff, then that's reserved for the premium Battle Pass. You can also play as your favourite characters through the ages, ranging from Alex, what do the numbers mean Mason, Ghost, and John Price. Unbelievably, for a mobile game, you can even have private games and ranked. In 2019, you can play COD on your phone in a private game with friends if you wanted to. Considering there are PC and console games that release without that functionality, it's incredible to think that a mobile game has it on launch. There are even rumours that the mobile version will get zombies down the line too. It's definitely going to be supported a lot going forward, because while it may not seem like it on the surface, mobile games are huge in terms of player numbers and income. And obviously there are microtransactions here, because while there is a premium battle pass you can buy, there are also specific skins for your favourite weapon that you could go and buy with premium currency. You can also get cosmetics for your character and even vehicle cosmetics for the BR mode. And speaking of the BR mode, let's talk about it. Here it is. It's a fully fledged BR mode with 100 players. You can play solos, duos, or squads, and you unlock it when you reach level 7 in the game. And I don't feel like this is just a tacked on mode either. It's a full-sized BR. It's legit. Think Blackout from Black Ops and you won't be far off. It's not a copy of that map, mind you, but it does use the same system of utilizing older maps. So you're going to see areas like Kill House, Standoff, Overgrown, Countdown, and of course, Nuketown. The diner is in there too, which was also in Blackout, and there are zombies around the map, just as there are in Blackout too. There's even the option to play in both first and third-person modes. So when you load into a game of BR, you get to choose a class ability. There are quite a few to choose from that change up the way that you play. Defender lets you place a shield and gives you increased resistance to all damage apart from gunfire. Mechanic lets you call an EMP drone to interfere with the enemy. And there's also stuff like Scout, which is my favourite, and that just gives you a sensor dart that allows you to chuck it out and see enemy locations on the minimap, and you can also see recent enemy footsteps. There's one called Clown 2, weird name, I know, but it gives you a toy bomb that summons zombies that attack nearby enemies, and you've got reduced zombie aggro distance too. The map itself is quite large. There are vehicles, helicopters, quad bikes, trucks to go around in. All the loot on the ground that you would expect, a full inventory system. There's a map that you can see, you can ping. You can see where the circle is. Like I said, it's a legit BR mode. It's also got revives in it too. You can revive people by picking up their dog tags, and a respawn ship, I suppose, comes in every now and again. It's got the lot. The BR mode is really fun here, and the fact that you can play this on mobile is awesome. I think the audience for this will be huge. Wrapping things up, I admit, I'm not much of a mobile gamer. I don't often play mobile games, and I don't really need to, because most of the time I play on PC and console, but for someone on the move, or someone that just loves gaming all of the time, and they wanted a solid FPS to play, this would definitely fit the bill, and I have to admit that I was very impressed with early first impressions and hands-on here. And that's all for today, guys. Like I said, it is free to play, and a big thanks again to Activision for sponsoring this video. There's a link below if you want to check the game out for yourself. If you've played it, let me know your thoughts. What do you think about it? Liking it? Not liking it? Let's hear it. With that said, that's all for today, guys. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button. Thank you very much. If you didn't like it, dislike it, not a problem at all. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.